This morning, I heard a tragic case. Addiction is a huge cause for divorce, and only about 1 in 10 people get the treatment they really need. Addiction was a big issue for the couple who came to see me today.
Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, Mrs. Jackson and Mr. Jackson. The two of you have been married for 5 years. You have petitioned this court for a variety of things, and sometimes I think that the thing that people want most from me is that they're petitioning me for peace of mind. So we're going to talk about that momentarily, but I'm going to start with you, Mrs. Jackson. Why don't you tell me, how did we get here today, 5 years in, to divorce court? What is your primary concern with Mr. Jackson?
First, the main thing is the job issue. He has the handyman business, self-employed, but, I mean, it doesn't bring enough money in. I mean, I'm still carrying all the way, doing everything by myself, and I feel like he should get a regular 9 to 5. He doesn't want to work for anybody else, though, but himself.
Do you work?
Yes,
And
I do housekeeping for homes and apartments and businesses.
Okay, very industrious couple. I like that already. Mr. Jackson, she says you're not making much as a handyman, and I get the part about you wanting to work for yourself, but sometimes you don't get to do what you want to do because it's not getting what you need to get done. Have you ever looked at it that way?
At one point, and then I said, you know, forget this. I'm still gonna do it anyway, you know. I was.
But wait. There's a lot of things that I would love to do, but I can't pay the bills by doing them. So being a grown person, what I do is I put those things to the side and I do those things that I'm required to do to make enough money to support the household that you have constructed. Where did I get that wrong?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I know.
It's just, it gets up under my skin because I put a lot of hard work into this business. And I started this business with my grandfather. And after he passed away, you know, I just kept things going. And I love it. I love what I do. You know, it's honest. You know.
And I'm not hating on you for it, Mr. Jackson, I'm not. But you could do a lot of things that are honest, good work that does not provide as necessary, witnessed by the fact that your wife has found it necessary to become an escort in order to supplement your income so you can live. Is that not right?
Boy, that's not.
That's not true?
It's true. That might be her excuse. But I'm not going for that.
You're not going for that. Well, Ms. Jackson, why don't you tell me why you feel it's necessary for you to, first of all, explain the nature of your escorting, and then tell me why you believe that that's something you must do in order to maintain the household.
Okay. What I do is I do my little dates. You know, it's nothing sexual or anything like that. We might go to casino, movies, you know.
Can I ask you a question, just personally? Where you get guys that'll just go pay you to have dinner with them?
I'm on a sugar daddy website.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, it works out. I mean, there's a lot of wealthy men on there looking for young ladies, you know, that's
Just to
beautiful.
hang out with.
Just to hang out with.
And they can't find anybody on their own. They have to pay people online for that.
Yes, they do.
Really?
I'm all for it. I mean, so I gets the money. So,
What's the gap between what he's bringing in and what you're bringing in, other than the escort, and how much your bills are? I mean, how short are you?
I mean, we're not too short, but most of the time when I do that, it's more so for his account. He has more needs than I have needs, you know.
So you mean to tell me you're going out with other men to make money to help him get stuff he needs?
Yes.
Like what?
He has his, you know, marijuana problem. He has his weed. If he doesn't have that, he has an attitude. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to hear anything.
So
Nothing
you
at
roll
all.
him
You
a joint
won't
to
really hear
cool him out, so he's all mellow.
Yeah, because I don't want to hear his mouth.
When
I
you
don't.
are weedless, are you irritating?
Yeah, sometimes. sometimes.
Always.
But I deal with it. I deal with it, you know. I've been doing that for years, you know. So it's like, hey, I guess it is what it is.
I mean, you know, therapy might be cheaper, like on a monthly basis. I don't know what kind of weed you're buying. Is it legal where you're?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, in our
Okay,
state,
so
yeah,
you got a
it's
card.
medical, yeah,
You
yeah,
medical
yeah.
marijuana.
Yeah.
Your listed illness is irritant.
Yeah. Wait, well, hey, you have to ask my doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. If she didn't escort, would you be able to afford the quantity of weed you believe you need?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Could you get the weed and pay all the light bill, phone bill, rent, and all that?
Some of it.
No.
So the answer
Not
is
all
no.
by myself.
That income, your legit income, has to be supplemented by some things you don't like her doing because you need the weed.
Well, that's her excuse.
Yeah.
Because there's other things this young lady could be doing to you know, that
Hold up.
make
Aren't there
money
other
and won't have to
things
do that.
You could be doing. You mad about her job? You're talking about I'm a handyman. This is my joy. This is my father thing. If that's not supporting your weed habit, why don't you handyman and other things?
I do.
So she doesn't
I do
have to
have
and
other
other
things
things.
I do.
That bring in money?
One of them is.
Yeah.
One.
See, kind of the point of having a job is to pay the bills that you got.
Right.
One minute I might be doing this, and the next minute I might be doing it. Next minute I might be over here, next minute I might be over there.
Have you been living together for years but find that splitting up is as complicated as getting a divorce? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. I'm always faced with a dichotomy. There's legal Lynn, and then there's just Lynn. Judge Lynn must talk about the law. The other Lynn wants to talk about the underlying moral implications of whether or not what you're doing is a good thing. Do you have no fears that the escorting that you are doing is, one, disrespectful to the marriage, and two, potentially dangerous?
I know it's dangerous, and I know it's very disrespectful. That's why I really choose not to do it. But even when I'm not thinking about doing it, he'll be like, oh, don't you want to go make some money or this and that, like, so he can.
You?
I only done that one time.
No, he does it
How
multiple
you gonna
times.
complain
time.
about your wife going out with another man, and then when you run low on weed, you go tell her go get some guy so you can get your weed?
I don't know.
Ooh.
I just wasn't thinking straight. I mean, maybe I was drunk or something. Somebody came slap me across the head or something. I don't
You
know.
were drunk or something. People whoop on you. And
I don't know. I was not thinking straight.
weed has never been known to be a stimulant. When people get high, they eat and they kick back. Do you think that the quantity of weed that you use may at all be an impediment to your ability to make the handyman business the going concern that it needs to be?
No, ma'am.
So you're not taking that extra 2 hours to putting out flyers and doing all that kind of stuff and doing all those things to generate more business? When you have your own business, that's you know, an 18-hour-a-day job. Are you putting that kind of 18 hours into it?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
And
You
thus-
see where I'm going
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
You'd rather halfway pimp out your wife than work hard
She
enough to
pimping out
make your
herself.
business work.
She pimping on herself?
No, he goes harder for that weed. He'll walk
You
5-10 miles for some weed.
Mr.
But
Jackson,
he won't
you
walk 5-10 miles for no job, filling out no applications.
but he'll
nothing.
walk 10 miles for
Yeah,
some weed.
he real motivated for that.
Yes.
Real
Mr.
motivated.
Jackson, my understanding is that your wife has taken it upon herself to film you at some of your less than elegant moments.
Yeah.
Do you have a tape for us to see?
Yes, I do.
I would like to see Mr. Jackson at his best?
Me personally, I think I'm up to Jesus because one minute I might be doing this, and the next minute I might be doing it. Next minute I might be over here, next minute I might be over there. My mind wanders like that from time to time.
How often does that happen?
I don't know. You'll have to ask the people around me.
All the time.
You mean to tell me that you get disassociated so often you don't know how often you are?
I'd be that far gone.
He do. He really does.
But that's not like a regular. That's every once in a blue moon that I might end up getting like that and somebody say, hey, Kev, or Kevin, you did this last night and you did that last night. Now, when I get up in the morning, the next day or whatever, I can't remember what I did and what I said and this and that. And
That's a bad sign. I want to let you know that when you take enough intoxicants that your brain stops recording the actions that you're taking, that is a bad sign.
Yeah.
You're messing with your brain. You're just poking it with a pen. Don't work, don't work, don't work. You know,
Right.
it kills the brain cells.
Right.
Whoo!
And I hate being like that, but...
Not enough, apparently.
Right.
He started stealing, you know, ATM cards, money out of my purse, and he made me lose my car that I financed for
That's
2
not
years.
true. That's not true.
If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. From what you told me in your papers, Mrs. Jackson, you're very distraught about his relapse. Why don't you explain that to me?
Okay, he relapsed. In the past, I didn't know that he had a problem with cocaine. You know, if I did, I wouldn't even got involved because it's just too much to deal with. I already know that. So he started stealing, you know, ATM cards, money out of my purse, and stealing my son's tablets and going in his piggy bank. And he made me lose my car that I financed for 2 years.
That's not true. That's not true.
That
not
is
true.
very true, and I'm very pissed off
The
about
car,
that because
yeah.
I worked very hard to
The
get
car,
that car.
yeah, but
and he
that other
made me
stuff?
lose it. I only had $1,000 left to pay it off.
And Justin, I told her I was going to
make it good?
sure I help this young lady get another car.
And he hasn't done it yet.
If I help her buy it or whatever, or if I had to just go out and buy it myself.
How much do you think it would cost to make her whole? I mean, put her back in the same position if she still had that car.
That car. And he's up 6-7 grand.
6-7 grand. Okay. Mr. Jackson, let me ask you this. What are your main complaints about her? Because we've been talking about you all day because there's a whole lot to talk about. But if you have some concerns, difficulties, or angers with her, why don't you explain them to me?
She's okay to a certain point. I can deal with most of the stuff. But, you know, the thing with the sugar daddy, bottom line, that's a no-no. That's a red flag in my book. We're not gonna ride that train. We're not gonna go past go, no, none of that, you know. Diane is a very stubborn young lady, you know. She does what she wants to do. She don't...
Speaking of which, you say she goes to strip clubs all the time.
Yeah.
Explain that to me. What's going on at the strip club?
Goodness. This girl, they call her the $5 girl. Because when she goes up there, she don't give, you know, we call twos and fews, you know. She gets $5 bills. And I'm like...
You putting $5 bills in the G-strings of men?
When she could be putting it
No,
in my
women.
pocket.
Women.
Women?
Women.
Yeah.
Well, that changes the whole character of the conversation, doesn't it?
So let me, you know, because of that, you know, there's a lot of other issues that go along with that, you know. I didn't know that she was bisexual. I get nervous when we go to these clubs, because I really could care less to be there. I don't even be in the club, I'll be outside, maybe smoking a cigarette,
But she's
drinking
loving
or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
You know,
I love it.
and
in
they
there.
tell me,
I do.
they say, Man, how come your woman spending more money than you? I said, cause she ain't thinking all the way straight. I'm going home with mine in my pocket. I'm gonna treat myself.
I do too.
I
And I
got
be
it.
treating myself when I be in there.
How much money do you spend putting $5 bills in people's
Maybe $50 to $100, maybe.
in a night?
Yes, maybe. And if
You
I'm
two have
feeling,
children?
and if I'm feeling real
And
good,
she
300
talks
or
about
something.
If
my
you're
weed
feeling
habit.
real good, 300.
Yeah, if I'm feeling real good, I spend some hundreds. He's just mad because he's not getting it. That's all it's about. He don't want to
Not
see
really.
it go to nobody else but him.
Not really.
In divorce court, people tell me the most intimate details of their lives. Join the conversation and share your experience on our Twitter page at Divorce Court and on our Facebook page. See how fans deal with their own relationships. The discussion can get heated. Don't miss it. Do either of you know what the term dissolute means?
I don't.
No.
Well, I want y'all to go home and look it up because your pictures are there. You two are backstroking down a river of want that is going to end you up into a sea of nothing. And I wouldn't be so hot about it if you didn't have children. How you gonna spend $200-300 in a night putting money in somebody's G-string? How are you gonna spend, I don't know how much you gonna spend on that weed, and then you're high. Then you're high, and your children see you high. I mean, it's not a good look. We saw the look. There was nothing wonderful about it. You can't be counted on. You are not reliable. You are not making enough money. You two are satisfying your wants and not taking care of your needs, which is your perfect right to do, except for when you bring children into this world, and then you've got to stop it. That's insane, inane, and ridiculous. Why don't you put $300 a night in somebody's college fund? You know your children are going to have to support themselves when they get out of that. Your children are going to have to know how to solve a problem that doesn't involve rolling a joint. Your children are going to have to be able to make money and not have to go out with some man who might do whatever to them because you don't know how to work. You haven't taught them responsibility. You can't teach them work ethic. All you do is high, partying, casinoing, and all of that ends up into a dissolute, unexamined, unfettered, frayed, imbalanced, and ultimately a disruptive life.
Well, Your Honor, well, the handyman business is, I'm going to leave that to them, to my boys.
You're not going to have a business to leave because when you have a business, I know people who work for themselves. My father worked for themselves. It was a 24-hour-a-day job when it needed to be a 24-hour-a-day job. It was not like just enough to get some weed and keep it moving. You're not going to have anything to leave them because you're not building anything. You're kind of doing just enough to get by, and then you're getting high the rest of the day. Children don't do what you tell them to do. Children don't do what you want them to do. They do what they see you doing, and we already saw what you do. Mrs. Jackson, had you petitioned me correctly and asked for some of the money back that he took, I could have awarded that to you. That was clear, distinct, and correct. You get that money back under the law, but you didn't even have it together enough to ask me for that. I got requests for things I don't even understand. I wish I could have given you that money. I could have given you that money. You thought it through and had done it, you'd have walked out of here with $7,000. But as it is, you're walking out of here with nothing but a lecture and a goodbye. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered. Diane and Kevin leaned all the way over on one of my pet peeves. We seem these days to live a life of I want, I want, I want. We make enough money to get what we want to do, and we don't think of anything else. If you don't plan for your life will roll over you.